Hello, everyone. I'm Dwayne Bonifer in the Lindsey Wilson University Office of Public Relations, and this is The View from the Hill, the podcast of Lindsey Wilson University. Every week during the academic year, The View from the Hill features conversations with some of the people who help create the dynamic living learning environment that serves the educational needs of every Lindsey Wilson student every day. In this fourth podcast of the 2025-2026 school year, we'll visit with Lindsey Wilson Education Program Director Jennifer Antoniotti-Neal. Jennifer will share the many good things taking place in Lindsey Wilson's outstanding education program. There's a lot happening in the Goodhue Classroom Building. That's the home and the headquarters of the Lindsey Wilson Education Program. As Education Program Director Jennifer Antoniotti-Neal notes, great things are happening not only within the walls of the Goodhue building, but among the graduates as well. And as she says, it doesn't get much better than a Lindsey Wilson education graduate these days.
Department received some good news the other day that we have 100% pass rate on our Praxis 2 and PLT exams for our Stage 2 and Stage 3 candidates, which are our student teaching group. And this means that all of our teachers that graduated in the 2024-25 school year not only graduated, but were certified to be teachers in the classroom. That means that for the last 2 years, we have 100% pass rate for our Praxis PLT and Praxis 2 exams.
That has to make you feel pretty good about the work you're doing here in the education program.
It does. We've done a lot of heavy lifting over the last several years, especially since COVID hit. When I first started in the education program, students were struggling to pass the Praxis exam, and they were pretty much doing it on their own. When I'd ask what we were doing to support students, students were studying. And so we started to talk with our teacher education committee and think about supports we could put into place that would make it easier for students to pass the exams the first time, because exams are expensive and students don't always have a lot of money to spend on things like that. So we worked with our teacher education committee, and in 2020, we passed a policy where students who did not pass the Praxis exam would have to remediate in our curriculum lab with study materials that we had purchased for them. Because when I ask students, why are you not passing? They would say to me, I didn't study, or I didn't have time to study, or I didn't really think I needed to study. And so as the mama that I am, one of the things that I can do for you is I can provide mandatory study time. And with that, we saw an upturn in student Praxis pass rates.
And you don't just do it with one person in the program achieve that kind of pass rate. You do it with a great group of faculty.
Absolutely. Every one of our faculty is involved in this, and it has actually morphed or transitioned over the years into a very sleek process that has all of the faculty involved. We started with 2 faculty in 2020 that would meet with student teachers at the end of the day, and they would study. In 2022, we created a new remediation plan where students would come in and work, and if they did not pass, that they would meet with faculty one-on-one. There are several different assessments, one for each area of study, such as social studies, science, math, biology, P5, education. And so it's not just one test. It's multiple tests with multiple content, multiple teaching areas, and multiple faculty. So we've also met with the content area faculty, such as history and biology, and realigned their curriculum to make sure that they were teaching the things on the Kentucky Academic Standards and the Praxis standards and the things that were required of them for those tests. So we've worked with a lot of faculty on campus, not just education faculty. And so it's not just education faculty who are supporting our students. It's everybody.
So they say it takes a village to raise a child. It takes an entire campus to produce a teacher.
It does. And not only an entire campus, but the community as well, because our teacher education committee assists with this. And so when our candidates go out into the schools, they're mentored by strong alumni and strong teachers, superintendents, principals, who also give them the pedagogical knowledge and the content knowledge that they need to pass these assessments. The teacher education committee is made up from these district people, plus our content people, plus our education faculty. And so we then decided, after we had this remediation plan, that maybe we needed a little more proactive response. So this year we have created a Praxis study course. So if students don't pass that test the first time, they get to take a course with different faculty based on the section that they need to study. And so it progresses every year based on student need and student data, and it does take a village.
So that's great news, the 100% pass rate for the students 2 years in a row, but the department received even some great news about what it accomplished recently as well.
We did receive excellent news. In 2024, we did our 7-year National CAPE accreditation renewal, and we received news that we not only passed with flying colors, but we received no areas for improvement, which was huge for us. And as a Gold Star girl, I really think that we reached levels that we could only dream about, and it was the team, the district, our students, everybody. It was a team effort. And we are so proud.
So if you're a student and you're taking an accreditation test, a good way of saying this is you scored 100 on the test. You got a perfect score.
We did, and I love that. When I was a student here, Miss Arnold used to give us stickers if we got 100 on a paper or an A. And so I feel like we got our gold star, and I feel like we got 100 on our test.
Again, you mentioned that it's a partnership. It's a team that helps you achieve this kind of accomplishment. But talk a little bit more about the culture of the education program here at Lindsey Wilson in terms of how strong it is and how supportive it is, not just of students, but of one another and the members of the faculty as well.
So we just got an opportunity to hire a new faculty member, and he moved actually from Texas to work with us this year. And one of the things that we always talk about when we hire new faculty is that we are a family. Lindsey is a family, but the education department is a family too. We have our hashtag LWUEdFam, and it is true. We support one another. We make sure that we have everything we need, and if we don't understand anything or something, it's very important to ask each other for help and support and clarification. And the culture here is so positive that nobody is afraid, and everybody knows we make mistakes. So it's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to do something and ask for help. And it's very important for everybody to know that we are a team.
And that's something that students have to pick up on in the classroom when they visit as prospective students or when they work on a project outside of the classroom.
They absolutely know that. I had a student stop me in the cafeteria today, and she's very quiet in class and she doesn't speak up very often, but she was talking to someone else who she works with, and she said to this other person, "Dr. Neal's classes are my favorite classes." I just had to stop for a second, because those are the students that you don't even know whether they like you or not. And for a student to then say not only that they like you, but that's what they get up for, and that's why they come to class, and why she wanted her friends to stay in the education department, because this is who we are and this is what we do. And I love my job, and our faculty loves their job. And so students absolutely know that they are loved and that we have a positive culture and that we really want what's best for them. And then they, in turn, tell other people that you should come and be part of the education department. And that just makes my soul happy.
You're listening to the Lindsey Wilson View from the Hill podcast. I'm Dwayne Bonifer in the Lindsey Wilson University Office of Public Relations. I'm talking to Education Program Director Jennifer Antoniotti-Neal. She's talking about the amazing work and remarkable accomplishments taking place within the education program. But before I get back to my conversation with Jennifer, a very big blue shout out to the leadership of Columbia-Adair County governments for celebrating Lindsey Wilson University Week, September 8th through the 12th. You can read all about it and see all about it on the college's social media platforms, but an especially big thanks to Columbia Mayor Pam Hoots. Along with Lindsey Wilson mascot Blue Raider Bob, Mayor Hoots appeared on Facebook Live numerous times throughout the week. The 5 days were a wonderful reminder of the wonderful relationship that Lindsey Wilson has with the good folks of Columbia-Adair County. Now let's get back to my conversation with Education Program Director Jennifer Antoniotti-Neal.
So let's talk about the education program here at Lindsey Wilson. When someone's an education major, they're more than just an education major. They can focus on lots of different areas. Let's just talk about those options available to students when they major in education.
We have several different programs. Start with our P5 program. You can teach the primary center, you can teach at the elementary school, you can teach P through 5 education. We have middle grades education, which is science, history, math, and English. You can double major. You can do 2 emphasis areas or just 1. We have secondary education, which is biology, history, math, and English. If you like, you can do secondary education and middle grades education, double emphasis, or you can be a PE and health major, which is becoming one of our largest majors. We have a lot of athletes here, and they love to be a coach, and they want to be a teacher, and so that's a great program, and we have a new wonderful faculty to head that program. And then we have art P through 5 education, and we have good faculty in that program, and those are the options that students have. So there's a wide variety to choose from, and we're actually looking at some new programs this year.
As you mentioned, the content that students receive is also really strong. They don't just get good education classes and high quality experiences there, but outside of education, they have really good content if they're going to become a history teacher or math teacher.
Yes, and we could not do what we do without our content faculty. And it always amazes me how the students come back from history classes or English classes or math classes or biology classes, and their content knowledge is so incredibly deep. I'm a literacy specialist, so they can come in, and if you can teach me about exponents or polynomials or the French and American War in such detail, and I understand it, then I know you know exactly what you're doing. And that comes from our content faculty, who are incredibly talented at what they do.
Talked about this a little bit, but talk a little bit more about when a student is an education major at Lindsey Wilson, what kind of experience can they expect during their time in the program?
This is a challenging program. We do have high expectations, but I do believe that every major is a challenging major. So when you come in, you are fully supported. We are a family. You do have one-on-one time with your advisors, but you have the entire faculty and staff at your disposal. We are here for each student, and we do live by the motto, every student, every day. If it's late and you're upset or you need something, come and talk to us, because that's what we're here for. We aren't just here for you to get a good grade. We're here for your whole person.
And you all stay in touch with your graduates, alumni who leave Lindsey Wilson as education graduates. They're no stranger to what's going on in the Goodhue building after they leave the university.
We have alumni and graduates who constantly return as mentors, as part of our teacher education committee, but also as friends. We have students and graduates that will text us or email us and ask for advice, who will ask to go to lunch, who will ask us to come to their weddings or their baby showers. We know our students because they are part of our family, and they're always going to be part of our family, and they always want to come back and give back to the place that gave them so much.
Why do you enjoy your position at Lindsey Wilson so much? What do you get the greatest amount of joy from it?
I was teaching class yesterday, and I told the students, I've been doing this 30 plus years, and I would never change my job. I would be a teacher again and again and again. And the reason is because we make such a difference in the lives of students. Somebody needs you just the way you are. Somebody needs you to hear them, to see them, to listen to them. And then when they come back and they say, you saw me, you heard me, you listened to me, I was important to you. That is why I love what I do, because making other people see themselves for the powerful human beings that they are and the change makers that they are and the reason they've been put on this earth makes it all worthwhile every single day.
That's Lindsey Wilson Education Program Director Jennifer Antoniotti-Neal. You can read more about the education program's good news in the news section of the Lindsey Wilson website, and that address is lindsey.edu/news. And that's going to do it for this 4th edition of The View from the Hill for the 2025-2026 school year. You can tell us what you like or don't like about this podcast by firing off an email to us at news@lindsey.edu. Either way, be sure to encourage your friends, family members, co-workers, and neighbors to subscribe to A View from the Hill. They can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and on the college's YouTube channel. View from the Hill is produced by Shelby Burton. Shelby is Lindsey Wilson's Assistant Director of Public Relations and Media Producer. And until our next edition, I'm Dwayne Bonifer in the Lindsey Wilson University Office of Public Relations. Thanks so much for listening. So long, everybody, and have a nice day.